Welcome to 0 to 1. I'm your host, Siam Hossain. I'm an immigrant founder. I bootstrapped my company to 7 figures while creating a community of 220,000 members. Currently, I run a hedge fund for immigrants. I started this podcast to share 0 to 1 stories of people who started with nothing but created something meaningful and impactful despite the odds. Today's guest is Monji Dolon. He's the founder and CEO of Measured, a consumer health startup backed by Y Combinator, Scott Galloway, and Initialized Capital, helping thousands of patients across the US with obesity and metabolic health. Without further ado, let's dive in. Monji, thanks a lot for making your time.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.
Did we meet last year? When did we meet?
I think we met maybe 2 years ago now.
2 years ago. Yeah. So I met Monji through probably like a friend's network.
Yeah.
Let me do an intro of Monji, but I'll actually pass to you, Monji. So Monji is a founder and CEO of Measured. It's a YC-backed company. They are a consumer health company which is helping patients across the US, primarily on obesity and
longevity, metabolic health.
Health.
Peptides.
Okay.
If anyone knows peptides.
Okay. And then they have been backed by YC 2021.
Correct.
And then Initialized Capital.
Initialized,
like
Scott Galloway, Michael Seibel.
That group. And then Scott Galloway. So these are basically like some of the famous investors. Monji, again, like thanks a lot for coming. Last year we are in another event where both of us were guests. And I run also a podcast with immigrants, so I've been trying to get Monji, and I'm like, okay, this is the best time to get Monji, and I'll also do a little like mini podcast. So Monji, like, I guess, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's nice to be out here on a Saturday morning. I love seeing all these people working on immigration tech. I feel like it's so kind of, there's not many companies working in the immigration space, especially in the Y Combinator ecosystem. So I'm really happy to see all of you guys here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. I mean, because the thread is immigration, let's actually start with immigration. We'll go to Measured.
Sure.
What is your immigration journey? Like, walk us through it.
Yeah, I'm a first-generation immigrant from Bangladesh, and I came here when I was 4. And my family has really been through a crazy journey with immigration. And throughout that entire process, we've worked with countless lawyers. We've spent tens, probably hundreds, over $100,000 in legal fees over the course of 20 plus years. And it's been, to be honest, many times a nightmare. And that's also a big reason why I'm so happy you guys are all here. My family, myself, have firsthand experienced lawyers who will take your money and make all these promises but not deliver, or people who will commit outright fraud. We had one lawyer we work with in DC who's now in jail for committing fraud. You'd think like, you go there with all these hopes and aspirations and you trust in these people, and then they just disappear. And then you rely on Congress people and senators and you ask for help there, and many times they're not even able to help. So it's, as an immigrant, someone who is learning about a new culture, wanting to better yourself and your family, it's a lot to take on. So my family's been through a lot, but we were able to navigate through that process over 20 plus year journey. And I now am like very appreciative of everything that we've been able to benefit from. So yeah, huge fan of kind of immigrant tech.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating that I keep hearing that this country is built with immigrants, but it's interesting that it's always so difficult for immigrants to just get onboarded here and integrated here. It's like an interesting puzzle. Moving to the Measured, what made you? I always wanted to ask this question. So I'm going to ask this question because this is I think for any founder, this is my favorite question to ask, which is like, why did you, like in that point, not now? Now it's a little big and this is a different type of problem. But when you started it wasn't big. It was nothing. It was like an idea. Why did you start it?
Yeah, I've always been a builder. Since I was in high school, I learned how to code when I was in high school. And in college, I would make projects on the side, kind of hacking on little fun ideas. And I've always wanted to build a startup. After graduating, I went to school in North Carolina. I grew up there. I worked in Silicon Valley, and I would have a job, save up money for a year or two, quit, try an idea, run out of money, and then rinse and repeat. Because I knew I wanted to be building. That's just what makes me happy. And I'm guessing that's why you guys are all here too. And so right before the pandemic, I had this brilliant idea of quitting my amazing remote job that paid very well to work on a startup idea. And little did I know that the world would freeze. But I was working on a few different things, including actually an immigration idea. And I had an event idea, an immigration idea, and a fitness idea. And I was just doing customer validation, building prototypes, talking to a lot of my friends and network. And I actually applied to Y Combinator with one of my ideas and got an interview, thought I was going to be building that, then got rejected. And I was totally defeated. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to get another job, save up money again because I'm starting to run out of runway. And I started working on a side project with a friend of mine just to make money for rent. And lo and behold, that side project actually started growing very quickly and became what Measured is today. And as it started growing, we applied to YC, and then raised funding and kind of scaled. And so it was, to be honest, this company was accidental. I've always been in, building things and wanting to make a company, but Measured did not start off as intentional as I would like to say.
Yeah, I think it never does.
Yeah.
So you basically needed some kind of like cash flow machine.
Correct.
And so so you were working with multiple ideas, like immigration and like other different ideas.
Yes.
So what made you, I guess, like go to this one?
What's the difference?
And how did you basically find this opportunity come through at that moment?
Yeah, it was interesting. I think the big difference between Measured and all of the other ideas, especially when it comes to Y Combinator, I don't know if anyone here has applied to that or is thinking about it, the big difference was traction. And with Measured, early on, we were able to show that people really wanted it, and we had a graph that looked really good, even though it was relatively small scale, and we were generating revenue. So much so that the YC partner that I work with, Michael Seibel, when he did the interview, he called me after and he was like, send me a screenshot of your bank account. Because he didn't believe that we actually had the traction we did. But all the other times we had, I think they were great ideas, I had the right people, but they were just too early in the process, and we had not demonstrated that people actually wanted what we were building.
Yeah, that's the only signal founders need to be better at, like just figuring out demand, like is there actual demand?
Right.
And then how did you basically get that opportunity, like in itself? Like how did you get access to those early customers?
Good question. So, at that time, Measured was more helping people with diet and exercise, so we weren't doing telehealth. And that's a bit of an easier product. There's less regulatory hurdles and compliance you need to worry about. And so we built a really, really simple MVP, something we knew that wasn't really a super great product. And we ran paid ads on Meta to see if people would actually purchase it or not. And at first people were like, hey, what is this? And we would just refund them the money. Like we would say, this is still kind of work in progress. This is more of a beta, and thank you for testing it out. We're gonna give you a free membership as soon as we do the proper release. But with that, we were able to get 20 or 30 people to sign up and give us their money via credit cards. And that showed that, okay, there's something here. We can run paid ads and we can actually get people to sign up. And then we locked ourselves up for 3 months and actually built a product and then relaunched it on Meta, and it just optimizing that funnel. And I can talk your ear off about how to build a paid consumer funnel and what to look for there. But it's this constant game of optimization and creatives and ads.
Yeah, consumer is very, very difficult. Actually, I think I know a little bit about Measure, but for the audience, I think it would be good for you to kind of explain what does your company do right now, and
So Measured is a telehealth company focused on metabolic health. And so we help people get access to drugs like GLP-1s, if you're familiar with those, like Ozempic and Wegovy. And so we focus on obesity as well as longevity. And we have doctors and nurses across the United States who will do consultations with our patients and create personalized care plans We have partnerships with pharmacies that can send people medication. And the idea is patients can get access to affordable care through our platform and do it from the convenience of their phone. So we're live in about 30 states, and we've got thousands of patients that we help support.
I guess still trying to like go back to this
Sure.
like early stage days.
Yeah.
I mean, telling her that like all these like these are not like, I mean, not shorting it, but it's
Yeah.
not like a groundbreaking
Sure.
idea in itself. How did you like? So you just ran some like social media ads,
Yeah.
and you tested the demand. What was the? I'm trying to understand like what was the secret sauce here, like in the early stage, so that it kind of exploded.
That's a good question. And
Like, what does anyone else like?
Yeah.
How many founders? 2, 3 people? Or how big was the team at that time?
at that time, we were 2 people.
2 people.
Yeah.
So there are many 2 people groups in the
Correct.
US.
Yeah.
Why is this 2 people group different?
That's a
What
good
did you
question.
guys do?
That's a good question. I think really trying to understand what works and what doesn't, and observing the space, like competitive landscape, and finding kind of adjacent examples. So we saw that there were other consumer products that had a really interesting funnel. They had good ads, good landing pages, and quiz flows, but they weren't necessarily being done in our space like that. And so we imitated those, and we found that there was traction there. So that was one thing. I think the other part of it is like obsessing over analytics and metrics and conversion rate optimization, which I don't think many people do. And there is a technical piece of that too, where you have to have the entire funnel instrumented properly. You have to use the right analytics tools and have the proper kind of testing frameworks in place, and know when to test, know how to scale. So I think it was the the combination of multiple factors there.
So let's say, I mean, I'm asking it because I'm trying
Sure,
to.
yeah.
We're gonna go to the audience and, let's say like I'm a 2026, I am a founder. Like
Yes.
just trying to put myself in
Yeah.
shoes of people who are trying to build right now. What would you advise if they are running, let's say, let's walk through these 2 scenarios.
Yeah.
One is primarily a B2C, like consumer.
Right.
How would you tackle it, like first 1 month of what are the main things to do, and then we'll go to B2B if
Sure.
you have any idea.
Yeah.
So let's go to it B2C, what to do, like what is the best path?
I think both of them are similar in some ways in terms of how you start things out, and this is one of Y Combinator's mantras. It's make something people want. And the one thing they drill into you during Y Combinator is talk to customers, talk to customers, talk to customers. And I remember I wasn't doing that enough during the batch, and Michael one day was like, I want you to go talk to 100 customers this week, and don't come back to me until you do. And I think we got to like 80 or 90, but it was super insightful. And so for consumer or B2B, I'd say like really identifying who your customer is and really talking to them. If you are the customer, that's great. I think you have a lot of empathy, you know what to build for. But especially in the B2B space, it's really important to do that. And then also understanding the market and knowing that there is a big market. I've met many founders now who are building in small markets, and it's great. You could actually have a great business there, but it may not be something that's venture backable. And if your goal is to raise millions of dollars in funding and build a billion-dollar company, you need a massive TAM. So I think, like talking to customers, have a massive TAM, and then figure out what your wedge is to get to them.
Yeah, very, very good. Like 2 very good parameters. The first one is that you don't want to build, I mean, YC has a term here actually, that solution in search of a problem,
Right.
SASP.
Yeah.
Basically, what founders do is that they build a solution first, and they try to force this solution into the customers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the wrong way to go for it. Better is to basically talk to customers, see what is their problem, and build
Right.
a solution for them.
There's something interesting here too with, for us, with weight loss particularly. For me, I've been someone who struggled with my weight most of my life, as I'm sure many folks here have as well. And I've felt that pain personally of having to struggle with weight loss and understanding what solutions I wanted. And so that was the initial version that we built of the product. But little did we know that as we started scaling, the market kind of had someone different in mind. And after 6 months, we found that 75% of our customers at the time were moms and grandmas who were struggling to lose weight, who had kids and families. And they also had similar problems, but it was a totally different demographic than what we had initially anticipated. But for my company, in metabolic health and weight loss, it's an obvious problem. There's so many people. The TAM is massive. It is a highly competitive space, but it's more obvious from that regard.
And then I think I read somewhere that you applied, you got into YC,
Yeah.
third time application?
Third time, yeah.
Third time.
Third time's the charm.
Third time is the charm. What worked? That's one is traction, what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
But what else? What other factors you think were? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who wants to apply to YC and get it.
I think so. Okay, so there's some hacks to YC that I can share too that I've told people before. One is getting a referral. Find someone who is an alumni in YC and get them to refer you. If you can get a few people to do it, great. Ideally, they know you, because in YC, when we refer people, you can, there's a drop down that says how well you know the person you're referring. So ideally, you want to have a strong connection with them. That just makes for a stronger referral. I think getting the application done, it's something great everyone should do if you're building a company, because it just helps you crystallize your thoughts around what it is you're doing, and then have other YC founders review it and edit it. And most people will make time. I've done this. I've offered it on Twitter many times. If you're applying to YC, share your application. I'm happy to provide feedback on it. And then if and when you get invited to an interview, do mock interviews with YC founders too. So if you use that process, you're more than likely to at least get an interview. And then when it comes to getting into YC, that's a bit of a different story, where I think there's a few different factors. One is the team. You need to have a good team that demonstrates that. Ideally, you should have a co-founder, one, because single founders, really hard to get into YC. But you need to have a team that demonstrates balance and that you can get through the really shitty times that are ahead, and have the moral fortitude to beat it and survive. Two is what we talked about, traction. And I think three is also just timing. Like, there's something about the market wanting certain products at certain times, and there being opportune moments. YC does this request for startups, and they have all these ideas that they share. They update that every year. So I think those three factors play into it.
Yeah, the request for startups is a great way to basically kind of like almost hack their system if someone wants to.
Right.
Let's talk about the team actually. So you said you had a co-founder.
Yes.
What were the team formation, like what are the strengths you had? What were your co-founder's strengths?
So my co-founder was a growth marketing expert. And so he understood Meta or Facebook, and this is pre-Meta. So Facebook advertising, funnels, and really speaking to the customer. My background's in product engineering, so I understood how to build a product and how to scale a team, et cetera. So it was a good balance for a consumer company. Obviously, if you're building in something like immigration, having domain expertise is massively valuable. When I was exploring an immigration startup, I actually had an immigration attorney that I was working with as a potential co-founder. So whatever will give you an edge, I think is good when it comes to team.
Yeah, definitely. And then, did you know your co-founder from beforehand? Or
I did.
How did you
We knew each other from the New York kind of friend scene. So yeah, we weren't super close, but close enough that we would start a company together.
And I guess like when you are, so this is the team, and about the market, like what did you, I guess like what kind of gaps you found at that time which the bigger players did not see? Because like there are always, in any market, especially big TAM markets, there are always big players.
Yeah.
They have huge amount of capital, you're nothing.
Yeah.
What did you see that they couldn't see?
It's a really interesting question, because I think at that time there weren't as many competitors as there are today. So as the market has become more obvious and as building has become easier, there is a flood of competition that makes it harder. So I'd say one was timing. Like at that time there just was not as much. It also makes me think now, in the age of AI and vibe coding, that competition has skyrocketed, and so it's even more important to identify what your wedge is and how you stick out and how you get to customers, which it's not easy. You have a lot of really smart and hungry people trying to build companies right now.
Yeah, so comes to the hardest question in the age of AI, which is like, what is your, I mean, measured is a little big right now, but still, like, what is your moat
Your
or
moat,
defensibility? Like, I mean, anyone can replicate moat like this measured again. So yeah,
true.
What's your moat?
For us, the way I view it, moat, there's a couple things in this space. One is that we own most of our platform and our technology, and we control the patient experience. And so we're able to build a really phenomenal world-class experience. And so there are a lot of companies you can go to right now for obesity, for weight loss meds right now. I would argue that our patient platform and patient experience is better than like 90% of them. I think the other piece of this is building a brand. If you're in consumer, then brand is the one thing that survives long-term. It endures. So if you think about apparel, how many clothing companies are there? And you know, people still buy Nike, people still buy H&M. Like, there's a reason for that. So we've tried to focus on having a really good patient experience and getting good reviews and a great, you know, product so that people like our brand and we can endure long term.
Yeah, agreed. For consumer, brand is very important. Also, like founder-led brands are also like becoming more and more important because people want to have more faces in the companies. It's good that you're going to these talks. Like it's good to have a face. I guess so. Early stage, I think I understand more or less. Let's talk about like issues in the, I guess like in scaling. When the company was scaling, did you see any kind of like hiccups scaling the company? Both the company and also like founder journey. Like how did you have to evolve as a company scale?
Everything breaks all the time as you're scaling. The people break, the product breaks, the customers break. It's just, it's your job as a founder is to have a lot of duct tape and keep things taped together and try to hold the ship steady. So I mean, I don't even know where to start in that question. They could just tell you the entire list of things always falling apart. Even now, as we're scaling and growing and doing well as a business, there are still many times where things are just rattling and you have to grab it and hold on to it.
Yeah. I think we'll slowly go to the customers, but I have a few more questions.
Sure.
Let's actually have some like, let's talk about like building now, because now there are so many tools like vibe coding, like people can vibe code.
Sure.
What do you, I guess, do you have any advice around like how to build that, how to not build that? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's the golden age of coding right now and building products. Claude Design is amazing. I don't know if anyone's tried Claude Design. Yeah, it's really good. But you have Replit, you've got Vercel, V0, and so many different platforms. I do think there's a lot of similarity in a lot of the AI-generated products out there, especially if you're just using like Replit. And so having a unique experience and a good design actually does matter. It's funny, like as the coding becomes easier, it's the creative parts of it that actually matter more. So the designers are having the last laugh now. But yeah, I think there's like an abundance of tools. It's not really hard to build an initial product. It is hard to have something that's differentiated, that resonates with people, and also something that's scalable. I think scalability and infrastructure also still do matter, but even that's getting easier now.
Sweet. All right. So let's do some. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah.
Looking at my questions. So let's do some like rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Like you don't have to explain. Bootstrapping or venture-backed?
For me, or just in general?
In general.
Bootstrap.
Okay. Growth rate or profitability?
Profitability.
Perfect product or perfect distribution funnel?
Perfect distribution funnel.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Night owl or early bird?
I'm early.
Okay, sweet. All right, I have just one last question and we'll go to the audience after that. What's your, let's say like 10-year vision? Like what will make you happy as father measure? Okay, my child has grown up.
I mean, our mission is to make the cost of healthcare, make healthcare more accessible and decrease the cost. And I think if we're able to do that at scale and help, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, then we will have done well. as an organization, if Measured is able to be a recognizable brand and more autonomous without me, that's also, massively fulfilling to me.
Sweet. Well, Monji, thanks a lot for like taking your time.
Yeah.
This has been very, very helpful for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it
I'm not getting no free food and drinks for this low energy. I'm gonna steal one
Alright,
mic
let's
so that we can do
the
Q&A.
questions.
Yeah. Alright, any questions, guys? Come on. Oh, okay, we have some. Alright. I'm gonna go.
Are you using brand names or compounding pharmacies?
We're using both. Yeah.
So, second question.
Sure.
Like 6 months ago, the Trump administration was like, we're going to go after all the compounding pharmacies.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened.
It's happened and it's not. So there's there's reasons you can use compounding pharmacies. You can't use them for just mass, the general population. But there are certain use cases in which they're still clinically valid and you can prescribe.
So I suppose that doesn't break you.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. It's a good question.
Someone had a question.
Awesome talk, I want to say.
Thank you.
So my question is, how do you get like your first set of users? How do you go from like people just seeing your demo and thinking, oh, cool, to like, oh, okay, I can actually use this?
That's a good question. It depends on if you're a consumer or B2B. If you're a consumer, then really going to your users and talking to them and seeing if they want this. If you want to test that at scale, paid ads are like almost a necessary evil in the consumer space. I think it's a great way to just test if people want it very quickly. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can do that with like $50 or $100 over the course of a week and actually see if people will sign up or even pay for the product.
Hi,
Hey, how's it going?
My name is Callie. I just
Hello.
have a question about you mentioned about doing market research for reaching 100 people. So is there a key that you feel if a person also wants to do market research and reaching as many as target customers? What's your key or your secret sauce for that? Because I feel like 100 people, that's a good number.
Yeah. So what we did, we had some users at that time, and so I just started off emailing them, and most people don't respond. And then I just started cold calling people, and that was a little bit better. And then, there have been times where in the health and fitness world, I would go to a gym and stand out front and just wait for people to leave and grab them and ask them questions. So it's really up to you as the founder to do what you have to do to find the people who you are trying to sell to and talk to them.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Someone in the front had a question. You had a question? Over here.
Okay, so when you're starting off, how do you figure out the particular feature of the product versus what you can copy from others?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last part. Can you say it again?
How do you know which parts of the product needs to be truly unique versus...
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you determine what you need to be unique versus what you can copy and borrow? That's a really good question. And to be honest, in some businesses, you can probably just copy a lot and still get traction. It also depends on you as a founder and as a builder. Like, what do you want? Do you want to just maximize growth and profitability and revenue? Find something that works and copy it. It's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that or anything shameful about it. If you want to build, if you have a vision for a product that's been keeping you up at night, then you should probably build that.
Hi,
hey, how's it
thank
going?
you for that talk. It was quite insightful. I did take some notes. I have one particular question. It's very specific. You said paid ads is a good way to advertise yourself and tell what your product is all about. So how do you do it? How do you begin with it? Because many founders, they kind of know that paid ads is a good way, but it could get expensive. So many people do hesitate. So how do you begin? And how do you target the right audience?
That is a really good question. And it depends on the platform, whether you're using Meta or Google or TikTok. And I wish I had like an easy answer there. I don't, because Meta campaigns are extremely confusing. The good part is most of these platforms are building tools to automate more and more of the process. So for Meta now, like they will determine the placement they will control the target CAC and a lot of other things if you let Meta drive. And in many cases, that does work. In fact, what we found as we scaled was that we were being too specific initially with our segmentation and our targeting. And we started undoing some of that and letting Meta have more control, and Meta has actually done better because of that. But that said, it's hard to know which channel is the best. It kind of depends on the product, depends on who your market is. If they're the generation who uses Instagram and Facebook more, then you should use Meta. If they're Gen Z and on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, then maybe those are your better channels. And then how you optimize each of those platforms is a whole different game too.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
One last question. I know someone raised their hand here. Yeah, all right.
Thank you for coming.
Hey.
Thank you for
Sure.
sharing your insights. I have two questions. First, very simple one. How many your ideas failed? And the second one,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts about the future of software engineering?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be more like AI, so software engineering going to be used more like
Yeah.
cloud code or something like that, or it's still going to be some old style with manual typing?
All software engineers are going to lose their jobs.
Great question. So how many of my ideas have failed? More than I can count. I've been building things for a very long time. I have notebook of ideas I've tried. Some have worked and made a little bit of money. Others did not work at all. At least a dozen, if not more. I love building though. For me, I don't really treat it as a failure. It's more just I almost see it as art, like a sculpture. And I just want that to exist in the world. Software engineering, the way I look at it is, for people who are new to software engineering, it can be daunting. It can be hard because the technology is advancing so rapidly. For more senior people, I think it's been this Iron Man suit, this force multiplier, where a senior engineer can have 50 agents working underneath them now, and the productivity has gone up dramatically. And so everyone on my team, all the technical folks on my team uses AI, but it hasn't slowed things down, it's only sped things up, and the workload has only increased for our engineering team. They feel that they're not able to move fast enough because as AI has enabled them to work faster, we and I have demanded more from them. And I think every company does that. They're like, okay, let's go. Velocity's increased. Oh, we have 50 things we want to build. We're just going to compress it all into one quarter now instead of doing it over 2 years.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Just one last question. I'm not going to take because, hey guys, we're coming
Thank you so much. This is the last question.
Be quick. Be quick.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Liu. So my question
Good to meet
is
you.
kind of a little bit different. Where is the best place to do startup? San Francisco or New York City? And also, where is the best place to find a co-founder?
Oh, good questions. Yeah. I'm wearing a YC shirt, so I have to give the YC answer, which will, they say San Francisco. Every time I go there, they're like, come back to San Francisco, move here. I live in New York, and we have an office in Williamsburg. I would say it depends on your business. If you're a fintech company, New York is actually great. If you're in advertising, marketing, New York is pretty good. If you're in AI, it would be almost foolish to not start in San Francisco. So I think it kind of depends on the company.
That's a good answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I have one last question along the same lines. Why? I know, I'm just kidding. Why did you choose to build in New York?
For me, my network and community is in New York. And I lived in San Francisco for many years. I kind of did my stint there. But to be honest, if I started an AI company in the future, I would very much consider moving back to San Francisco.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But 10 years from now, we're going to change that because we're going to make New York bigger. But guys, give it up for that. Come on, guys. Woo!
Thank you.